band 100 Monkeys, named after the phrase the 100th monkey effect, which generally describes the instant paranormal spreading of an idea or ability to the remainder of a population once a certain portion of that population has heard of the new idea or learnt of the new ability. I'm not quite sure what that means, but nevertheless, welcome to Making Contact on Evolution 1079. I'm Art Aronson. 100 Monkeys have released one studio album back in 2009 called Grape. They have currently finished productions on their second studio album, Liquid Zoo, which is set to release sometime this spring. Here's an Evolution 1079 exclusive look at one of the tracks on the new CD. It's titled Wandering Mind. Monkeys is in Van City right now preparing for their live show at Venue tomorrow. I was able to catch up with a couple of group members over the phone. Hey, I got Ben Graupner and Jackson Rathbone on the line. Thanks for joining me, guys. How do you like Vancouver?
We love Vancouver. Every time we go up there, we have a great time. The Vancouver audience is just pure music lovers, man, and it's beautiful every time we get up there and chance to play around town. Everybody's always up for getting down. This, I think, is our fourth show at Venue. We've been performing in Vancouver on and off for the last 2.5 years. It's almost into us. We finished production on our first studio album, Grape, in Vancouver and White Rock, Canada. What
are some of your favorite things to do while you're up here?
Play music.
Play music?
The Vancouver women.
The Vancouver women, yeah, I'm going to agree with that one.
It is true. There's something in the water up there. Yeah, whatever you guys do, you're doing it.
Right on. Hey, so getting into your music a little bit, your second studio album is coming out this spring, and it's called Liquid Zoo. How did you guys come up with that name, Liquid Zoo?
Well, it's kind of a representation of the work in and of itself. Because of the nature of our band, there's 5 of us, and we all switch instruments every other song. The amount of genres that we play through is kind of like going to the zoo. It's like the different animals you see, and we usually play in bars or places that offer wonderful liquid refreshments. So that kind of made sense, and it really came together because the studio we were recording at was in Van Nuys, California, and the bar down the street. We would always go down there if someone else was cutting vocals or just to like having a quick nightcap before the end of the night. And the bar itself was called Liquid Zoo. So
that's funny because there's a bar in Kelowna called Liquid Zoo, and I thought maybe you were, I don't know if you've been to Kelowna, BC at all, but I thought maybe you had named it after that.
I think we're going to have to go play a show there. Yeah, I think we're going to have to go now.
So you guys also are famous for improvised songs that you do at every show. Have you ever made a song from one of those improvised shows, or improvised songs?
Yeah, lots of our songs in our writing process begin that way. At the very beginning, almost all of our original songs began that way because we didn't have a set list of music or a set of rehearsed songs that we would play. We would just go out and, when we would start a show, it would usually be about 2 or 3 hours long, and we would just keep making music so there was something to dance to. And that's where songs like Wasteland and Smoke and Gus, Ugly Girl and Orson Brawl, all those songs grew out, and Wings on Fire, hundreds and hundreds of live improvised revisions, and then finally, we decided these songs needed to get put down on a CD, so we kind of put some order to them. I think the only audience-suggested improv song that's ever made it to a CD was Little Black Book, and you can find that on Live and Kickin' 1.
Oh, cool, guys! I got a chance to actually listen to some of your new stuff. You got there's a song called "The Fair," and it's going to be a new music video that's going to be coming out pretty soon.
Yeah.
When is that music video coming out?
We don't know. We've finished production on it, and we've turned it into MTV, so we're waiting to hear back from them.
Hey, you've been on your last tour. You were followed around by MTV. What was that like?
Well, I think they had originally approached us. They wanted to send a cameraman with us along our tour, and to document us on our travels. It was 8 shows, 8 days, and it was a highly stressful tour, and we weren't really sure how much we felt about MTV following us, you know. I don't think we've ever been into the idea of being in a reality show or anything like that, you know. So, but we were blessed and lucky enough to have one of our dear friends, William Schmidt, who is the director of our music videos from Slowdown to Ugly Girl to Cold Picks, and there's a couple more on the way. He's an amazing friend of ours and director and videographer, so our publicist convinced MTV to send him on the tour with us since he's a good friend of ours, and we don't mind him filming us. So that's ended up how we did it. Is we had a good friend of ours with a very expensive camera from MTV running around as drunk as we were.
Oh, talking about the MTV thing, do you feel like you had to like play it up for the camera at all?
Off and on, I guess. I mean, the camera's in your face, so you kind of feel a certain obligation to do something interesting.
Getting back to the album, the new one, Liquid Zoo, how was the recording process different from Grape, your first studio album?
They were different and similar in the same ways. When we record an album, we usually cover an extreme amount of ground. When we covered Grape, we were kind of moving north, and when we recorded Liquid Zoo, we were moving west to east. We began this album in Los Angeles, recording in a studio out in Van Nuys that we had set up, so we were basically living in the place and recording at the same time. And then we moved out to Baton Rouge to finish tail-end recording and begin the mixing and mastering process on the album. And we got to work with a whole bunch of fantastic musicians. That's, for me, the biggest difference between Liquid Zoo and Grape is the amount of other artists we've used. On Grape, we used a few other guest artists, but on Liquid Zoo, we have guest horn players, we have guest rappers, we have guest backup singers, we have more lead vocals from different people in the band. It's just a much wider, more colorful spread arrangement of music.
So any of these guest people will be joining you for your show?
Off and on. You know, when we're in the right areas, you know, when we're in Los Angeles, we always perform with Sarah Little and Sheila Carl. They performed with us at Venue on the 19th at our last show. And, you know, obviously when we're back in Baton Rouge, we'd love to have some of the people we worked with there. But in terms of being able to take everyone on the road at the same time, we'd start kind of looking like a polyphonic spree.
This is Making Contact. I'm Art Aronson. If you just joined us, I'm joined over the phone by Ben and Jackson of 100 Monkeys, and 100 Monkeys releases a new album this spring called Liquid Zoo, and you guys are planning to go on an international tour to promote the album? How exciting is that?
It's very exciting. We've been wanting to get across seas, and we cannot wait to announce the dates that we'll be traveling overseas this year.
Is there a place that you guys are really excited about visiting?
Well, both. There are places that are excited to have us visit, and we're excited to visit them. The United Kingdom, Australia, Germany, France are countries that we know we have a lot of fans from because they make the big trek over to America to come and see our shows. And so we'd really like to return the favor and make the big trek over to their countries and play on their home turf.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I took my first steps as a baby in Australia. I do not remember this, but this is what I was told. So I'm really excited to get back there. And
you guys got a lot of international flavor there, hey? Because Jackson, you're originally from Singapore, right?
Yep, I was born in Singapore, and I traveled around my entire life.
What kind of music do you guys listen to, like, besides your own stuff? Do you guys have any influences? Like, what's on your guys' iPods?
A huge influence of ours, of course, is Spencer Bell, the Spencer Bell legacy, and all the bands and musicians that Spencer worked with during his lifetime. those are always, huge in our music because, we're always looking to record new projects with people, release works of Spencer's that haven't put out yet, and things like that. But then in terms of the mainstream, there's a whole breadth of music. Everyone's into something different.
It's really eclectic. Like the music we play, the music we listen to is equally genre-bending and eclectic. I mean, it's we're all raised on different kinds of music, and we all listen to different kinds of music. And I mean, for myself, I think more often than not, I have Ray Charles going, or I don't know, some like good Motown music, some good blues music. I'm a huge Muddy Waters fan, and Robert Johnson. I actually have a stack of vinyl, and usually that's Devendra Banhart, and then I'll probably put on like Robert Johnson, the Flaming Lips covering Dark Side of the Moon. It's it's definitely eclectic, to say the least.
RollingStone.com has compared your vocal style with Jim Morrison of The Doors. Has The Doors at all influenced you?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's one of those things. I think The Doors had this sound. They didn't even have a bassist. I mean, they just had this amazing sound, and they were a new wave band. And Morrison, he would often go crazy and do some improv stuff and poetry and everything. And they're just, I think The Doors is definitely a big influence. There's a song, our new single on Liquid Zoo is called Wandering Minds, and we kind of thought of it kind of like a punk rock version of a Doors song.
So the band's getting a lot of press lately, comparisons to Iggy Pop, the Raconteurs. Do you feel any pressure with the new album coming out? How do you guys deal with that?
Oh man, I think it's going to be a release of pressure once the album comes out. I mean, we've been waiting to get this thing out and to the masses. So I think honestly, at the end of the day, it's going to be more relief of pressure than added pressure to have this album out and available.
You guys have a few guys who are in the band that are also actors, and I was just wondering how you guys juggle acting with your musical careers too.
No sleep. Lots of coffee.
No sleep. Right on. So you guys are going to be playing March 4th at Venue, and we're going to really be looking forward to that. I know I myself am actually going to come. I'm looking forward to that. Is there anything special you guys got planned for the show?
Well, we're going to be playing a bunch of songs I don't think Vancouver's ever heard yet.
Yeah, it's true. We've written a whole breadth of new music since we've been up there, and we're really excited to show the fans of Vancouver that have been watching us grow and the new fans of Vancouver that have just heard about us. We really want to show them this new music.
You're going to do the whole switcheroo thing with the instruments?
Oh, we always do. We always do the switcheroo. We're going to do it again at Venue.
Yeah, I guess the improv, I can't really ask you about the improv because it's improv-ish.
Usually, it's one of those things where we always ask an idea from the audience, and they tell Jared, and then the boys just start jamming, and I make up some words.
Excellent. Thanks a lot for joining me, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Cheers, man.
We in the city of Vancouver are definitely getting excited as 100 Monkeys are performing live at Venue tomorrow. Tickets are $17.50 in advance. You can find them at venuelive.ca, or you can hit up Red Cat Records or Zulu, or you can even drop us a line at allofus@evolution1079.com. Tell us why you want to see 100 Monkeys for a chance to win some free tickets. For Making Contact, I'm Art Aronson.